Let's begin by creating a new STM32 project in STM32C UBEIDE. Go to File, New STM32 project. In the target selection window, we'll search for our microcontroller. Type STM32F103C8 in the search box and select the STM32F103C8T6 from the list. This is the chip used on the blue pill board, a Cortex M3 based MCU with 64 kilobytes of flash running at 72 MHz. Now let's name our project. I'll call it ADC, keep the default settings as they are, and click Finish to let Cube IDE generate the initial project files. Once the project is created, it opens directly into the device configuration tool, showing the pinout and configuration tab with our microcontroller's pin diagram. Let's start by setting up the clock source. Go to System Code, then RCC, and set the high-speed clock or HSE to crystal ceramic resonator. This enables us to use an external 8 MHz crystal for accurate timing. Next, head over to the analog section and select ADC1. Here, we'll enable multiple input channels IN0, IN1, IN2, and IN3 so we can read 4 different analog signals at once. You can see the corresponding pins highlighted on the microcontroller diagram. Now let's set up communication. Go to Connectivity and select USA. RT1. Set the mode to asynchronous so we can transmit our sensor data serially. Under the USA RT1 configuration, we'll set the baud rate to 115,200, which is a standard speed for serial communication, and keep the other settings, word length, parity, and stop bits at their defaults. Now let's move to the clock configuration tab to set up our system clock properly. We'll configure the PLL to multiply our 8 MHz input. So set the PLL multiplier to X9. This brings our system clock SYSCLK up to 72 MHz, the maximum for this microcontroller. Notice the ADC clock now exceeds its limit, so click Resolve Clock Issues, and Cube ID automatically adjusts the ADC prescaler to divide by 6, giving us a SIF 12 MHz ADC clock. With our clock tree fully configured, AHP, APB1, and APB2 all running at 72 MHz, we are ready to generate the code. Cube ID automatically builds the project and generates main.c with all our peripheral initializations. Switching to main.c, you can see the generated initialization code for our ADC, USR, and clock configuration. Now I've added custom code in the main loop to read all 4 ADC channels and transmit the values over UART using a formatted string showing accelerator position, break percentage, state of charge, and temperature. Please check the description below for the complete project file and detailed instructions. Before building, let's go to Project Properties under C/C++, Build, Settings, and then MCU post-build outputs. Make sure Convert to binary file is checked. This generates a .bin file that we'll need for our simulation. Click Apply and Close, and rebuild the index if asked. Now let's build the project. And there we go, build finished, 0 errors, 0 warnings. To test this without real hardware, we'll use PICSimLab, a microcontroller simulator. Open it up and select the blue pill board with the STM32F103C8T6 microcontroller. Now let's add some virtual potentiometers to simulate our analog inputs. From the spare parts menu, add 4 potentiometers and connect them to pins PA0, PA1, PA2, and PA3. These correspond to our ADC channels IN0 through IN3. We'll also add a virtual terminal to receive our serial output, connected to the TX and RX pins PA9 and PA10. Next, load our compiled binary file. Go to File, Load, and browse to our project's debug folder to select the .bin file we just generated. And there we go. As I adjust the potentiometers, you can see the values updating live on the virtual terminal: accelerator, brake, state of charge, and temperature, all read through the ADC and transmitted over UART. That's how easy it is to read multiple analog channels on the STM32. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more embedded systems content.